Welcome back, everyone. This is Marisa from Call to Mothering. One of the questions I probably get asked the most as a homeschooler is, how do you even get started homeschooling? Many of you are thinking twice right now about sending your kids back to schools that may be forced to administer temperature checks and face masks, social isolation, and staggered classes upon reopening in the fall. Some of you saw the benefits of having your kids at home with you while the schools were closed, and now you're ready to take the plunge into real homeschooling. Today I have some tips for you on how to get started. The first one is find out the laws in your state. Homeschooling is legal in all 50 states, but the laws vary from state to state, so it's important to know what yours are. Some require that you send a letter of intent to homeschool to your local school district, and some require you to take standardized tests. Some also require you to keep records of your child's schoolwork and their transcripts. And yet others ask you to submit your curriculum at the beginning of the school year to a representative from the district. A website that you can go to find out the laws in your state, which I'll link to in the description below, is hslda.org. HSLDA stands for Homeschool Legal Defense Association. In addition to having great tips about homeschooling on their website, they also provide defense and counsel if you're ever in a situation where you're questioned or even accused of doing something or not doing something that you were supposed to. And so it's a really good idea to go ahead and join their organization so that you have that defense if you ever need it. The second thing you want to do before you start homeschooling is connect with your state homeschool organization. This can be helpful to get connected to other homeschoolers in your local area for support, co-ops, and playgroups. It's also useful for finding out information about upcoming conventions. Some state homeschool organizations offer a newsletter or magazine with helpful tips for homeschooling and also announcements about special events for homeschoolers throughout the year. They also work in the legislature to protect and expand your freedom to educate your children. Now you're ready to pick your curriculum. There are many different types of curriculum available, like boxed, which is pre-packaged with ready-made lesson plans, so all the work is done for you, but you still get to tailor it for your individual child. There's online homeschooling, in which most of the work is graded for you. There's Christian, there's secular, there's literature heavy, there are curriculums that mostly have workbooks and worksheets. There's also curriculum that is mostly hands-on for those kinesthetic learners. But the most important thing to keep in mind when choosing a curriculum is, will this fit the needs of my children and our family? And you may find that you want to choose two different curriculums. So that might mean that you choose language arts and math from one and science and history from another. And you can always switch curriculums too if you find out that it's not working for your child or it's just not what you expected it to be. You don't have to be married to a particular curriculum for your child's entire academic career. So you can change a curriculum even halfway through the year if you find out that it's just not working. But you want to keep in mind too, not to make too many switches. Sometimes it's just a matter of your child getting used to something, of them needing to work through something through a certain style of curriculum. So you don't want to switch too often, but you want to keep in mind that you have the freedom to change something if it's not working. Once you've picked your curriculum, plan out your daily schedule. Figure out what order you'd like to teach each subject, such as harder ones in the morning and easier ones in the afternoon. And remember, when you're planning your day, that you don't have to organize it according to the typical 8 o'clock to 2:30 school schedule. You are free to plan out your day however you want to, however works best for your children and whatever works best for you. The average length of seat time instruction for homeschoolers is usually only about 3 hours a day. You have the freedom to take large breaks in between each subject or do them all in the morning after breakfast. And what we typically do is our devotion in the morning right after breakfast, and then we'll start with language arts and go on to math, and then we have a break of about half an hour for snacks and some playtime, And then we move on to science and history, and then we take a break for lunch, and then we have reading time, which usually lasts about an hour to an hour and a half. And my children take turns reading books that are assigned. And I will also read a chapter book to them during that time. Most times you'll find that you can even combine certain subjects together, like geography and science, or language arts and history. So you don't have to necessarily do one right after another, like language arts, then math, then science, then history. When you're planning out your school day, also decide whether you'd like to accomplish school 5 days a week or maybe 4, with a day set aside for field trips or co-ops. Also plan your day so that you make sure that you're fitting in other things besides school, other important things like housework that also need to get done. It's good to keep in mind that a schedule is important because it provides a guide for your day, but it shouldn't be a taskmaster either. If you find that because of a certain circumstance that comes up, you may need to change things around or scrap your agenda entirely. So plan, but also be flexible. And the most important tip I can give you on getting started homeschooling is give yourself grace. You are going to make mistakes, and that's okay. It is no small task to educate, train, and disciple your children, so just keep reminding yourself that you will figure things out as you go. And I promise you that your children will be resilient and they won't hold things against you. So let go of some of your expectations and don't be so hard on yourself. I hope you found this video helpful. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel and also ring the notification bell to be notified when new videos are posted. I'll see you next time.